Hey everyone. Today, we are going to break down a framework that is absolutely crucial for understanding, well, pretty much any business. And more importantly, it's your secret weapon for crafting amazing exam answers. We're talking about the 4 core factors that make every single business tick. So let's just dive right in.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll get the big picture. Then, we're going to dive deep into each of the 4 factors: structural, technical, environmental, and sociological. And to wrap it all up, we'll see how they all connect. Sticking with this is really going to help these ideas lock into place for you.
You know, the biggest hurdle in any business exam isn't just knowing the facts. It's about moving beyond that, about connecting different ideas to build a really powerful argument that explains why a business is succeeding or why it's failing. So that's the real question, isn't it? How do you actually connect the dots? How do you draw a clear line from, say, a marketing campaign all the way to production efficiency, or from the company's culture to how the public sees them? It can feel super tricky, but trust me, there's a system for it. And here is that system. The solution is this framework. You can think of these 4 factors as the main pillars of any analysis you're going to build. Once you get a handle on each one, and especially on how they link together, you'll have all the tools you need for a truly top-notch answer. Okay, first up, the structural factor. The easiest way to think about this one, it's the skeleton of the business. It's all about how the company is built, how work actually flows through it, and of course, how it presents itself to the world through its brand and its marketing. So this covers the whole shebang. We're talking management structures, production lines, but also formal processes like total quality management, TQM for short, and different kinds of quality control. These are all the levers a business can physically pull to change its internal shape and its external image. A classic example of a structural tool, the 4 Ps of marketing. It's perfect. Each P is a lever the business gets to pull: the quality of the product, the price you set, the kind of promotion you run, and the place you sell it. These are all fundamental structural choices that directly shape how people see your brand. So, how do you actually write about this in an exam? Well, try using a sentence frame just like this one. It's a game changer. It forces you to link a specific action, like restructuring, to a measurable outcome, like cutting down on waiting time. That crystal clear cause and effect, that is exactly what examiners are looking for. All right, let's shift gears to our next factor, technical. This is all about the tools, the machines, the software, the technology a business uses. And the goal is almost always the same: to make work faster, cheaper, safer, and this one's key, way more consistent. The ideas here range from the old school, like mechanization and mass production, to modern automation and adopting brand new tech. Think about it. Whether it's a design firm getting faster GPUs or a media company using a new video codec, every single one of those choices has a very real, very visible impact on the final product. And here's how you can build a great answer around that. Connect a technical choice, like a new piece of software, to a visible outcome for the customer. But you know what takes an answer from good to great? Mentioning the trade-off. You know, the cost of the new gear, the time it takes to retrain staff. That shows you're thinking critically, and that's huge. Now, for our third factor, environmental. And let me be clear, this is about way more than just being green. It covers how a business handles its resources, its waste, and its legal duties. And most importantly, how all of that action or inaction shapes public trust and what people think of the company. If you want to show you've really dug in, try to use specific terms, referencing things like e-waste policies, or even specific laws like Australia's POEA Act, that's the Protection of the Environment's Operations Act, or the need for an environmental impact statement, an EIS. That shows you've really done your homework. Here is a fantastic way to frame your argument. This little template links a specific company policy to a legal requirement and right back around to public perception. Remember, this is a double-edged sword, right? Genuine action leads to positive perception, but anything that feels like empty greenwashing can seriously backfire. All right, let's look at the human side of business with our final factor, sociological. This is all about the workplace culture. The main idea here is that the way people talk to each other, the way they collaborate, the way they just behave at work, all of that has a direct and, this is important, measurable impact on performance. Now, the number one thing to get here is that culture is not just some vague, fluffy concept. It can be measured, and it absolutely should be. You can see its effects in hard data like staff absenteeism, the number of hours spent on rework to fix mistakes, and of course, employee retention rates. And this sentence frame just nails that cause and effect chain. It connects a specific cultural habit, like having really clear project handovers, to an action which then leads to fewer errors and a real measurable bump in productivity because people are spending less time fixing things. It's clean, it's logical, and it's incredibly effective. Okay, so we've walked through all four factors one by one. But the real magic, the absolute key to a sophisticated analysis, is getting that these factors don't live in little boxes. They are all connected. They are all constantly influencing each other. This table right here brings the whole model together. Seriously, think of this as your ultimate one-page study guide. You can see each factor, its core idea, and its main impact. Structural decisions shape your workflow and brand. Technical choices drive quality. Environmental practices affect perception. And sociological culture impacts productivity. If you can internalize these connections, you've totally mastered this framework. So let's wrap up with a question for you to think about. Now that you have this powerful tool in your back pocket, which of these four factors, structural, technical, environmental, or sociological, do you think is the single biggest challenge for businesses out there in the real world today? It's a great way to start putting this framework to work on the world around you.